is in crisis. And as the words of our party national anthem goes, that arise, arise, arise for Ghana, ye patriots of the land, towards a secure future, development, our goal. It means that in times like this, the rallying call is for true patriots of Ghana to arise and to help save this nation and help save our democracy and protect our future generations. We have never had this length of democratic stability. So it is something that we should value and we shouldn't toy with. The happenings in the sub-region ought to be a wake-up call for all of us. I know that the challenges are daunting, but somehow I believe that God is a Ghanaian, and so we shall overcome and we will survive and protect this our stability. But before we can do that, patriots must arise, act and speak with courage, and say the unpleasant things that ought to be said. Take the unpleasant actions that ought to be taken so that we can prevent worse things from happening. Talking about our democracy, we have never come this low, where as a country we are unable to service our debts, let alone to pay. We have never come this low, where corruption in government has become like an American buffet. Eat all you can for $10. So once you pay the gate fee, which is an appointment from Nana Akufo-Addo's government, you enter there and eat everything you can. In fact, if you allow yourself to be outdone in the race to amass wealth from the system, then you blame yourself. That is how things are going now. We are at a point where our nation's central bank on paper does not exist. We are at a stage where our security services have been politically compromised. If you watch the proceedings from the parliamentary committee investigating the leak tape, and you are a true Ghanaian, you weep for the Ghana Police Service. That how did we come here? Parliament has not had the opportunity to investigate anything or any leak tape from the armed forces. But I believe sincerely that if there were any leak tape to be investigated from there, the stories that will emerge will be equally worrying. The least said about our justice system, the better. And in all this, what helps to stabilize nations in crises like this is the freedom to demonstrate. Because when people are frustrated and they get the opportunity to vent out their feelings, it's a way of preventing explosion. But that right too is being trampled upon. It's like blowing air into a balloon and there is no vent for the air to come out. What will happen? And the most explosive and unpredictable segment of our population is the teenage group, the youth. And they are the most frustrated lot in this country. They don't have jobs, and at least they should have been content with the opportunity to change government and install the government they like. But what are we seeing? This is the opportunity for them to register and participate in the voting. And once again, the machinations that are happening, they are all geared towards limiting access to the exercise of that democratic right. So if people are frustrated, because in a democracy, we choose our leaders. The right of self-determination is one of the most important rights in a democracy. So, because when we choose our leaders, we give them our mandate to do things to serve us. We give them the right to arrest us when we go wrong. We give them the right to exact taxes from us and use the taxes to provide for our needs. We give them the right to provide security for all of us. If that right to provide security is turned into a right to abuse us with that security, and we don't have anywhere to turn to, what will happen is that we assume the other rights under J.J. Rousseau's theory, and then because if a government refuses to do what the citizens have put the government there to do, they have every right to revolt against that government and bring in another government. Let's pray we don't get there. The happenings in the sub-region are not pleasant. Our lack is that opposition groups will always collaborate with military adventurers to stage coup d'etats. But in Ghana, the story is different. We in the opposition pride ourselves as the architects of this democratic consolidation, as the architects of the stability we are enjoying. And so we are ready to protect it and to protect the constitution we have signed into action. And so no adventurer will get our cooperation. And it is because of this that those who are in government have decided to do worse things than anybody could think of. And so let us rise up and speak out to save this democracy. The youth may get out of our control because they don't have jobs, they are the most frustrated, and they want to effect changes in their circumstances through changes in government. If they are blocked from registering so that they can change government peacefully, we cannot predict what they will want to do. So I'm calling, on behalf of this party, calling to civil society organizations, opinion leaders, faith-based organizations to bring pressure to bear on government to make sure that the last right of the youth to cast their ballots and to determine their leaders is not taken away from them. Because when you block peaceful avenues of change, you are inviting violent avenues of change. And we don't want to go there. So, comrades, you are rising up today as patrons. The work you are going to do is daunting, but we trust that you'll be able to meet the challenge. There is no way you can constitute a governing team that will represent everybody. We know there are shortcomings in this composition, but we are appealing to our party rank and file that this is a call to duty. It is not an honor. It is a call to duty. So if we have tasked some of you to undertake that duty, wherever you are, in whatever corner, you can find a way of helping to achieve the same purpose, whether you are named and sworn in today or not. So I wish you well, and I thank you for accepting the challenge to serve the NDC and Mother Ghana. You are welcome. And before I sit down, let us all get up and observe a minute of silence for a wonderful woman who would have been with us today, but God has wished otherwise. I'm talking